Welcome to Lior Times. I am your global business correspondent, and today I am bringing you a story that every investor, every entrepreneur, and every policymaker on the planet needs to pay attention to. A report released just hours ago has quietly confirmed something the world has suspected for years. India is no longer just a rising economic power. India has now officially become the third largest wealth creator on earth. And the numbers behind this shift are staggering. By 2031, India is projected to add over 100 new billionaires, growing faster than the United States and faster than China. The global wealth map is being redrawn in real time, and New Delhi is at the center of it. Stay with me, because the details are going to change how you think about the next decade of global business.
Let me begin with the core facts. The 20th edition of the Knight Frank Wealth Report 2026 has just been released, and according to this report, India now has 207 billionaires. Only the United States with 914 billionaires and China with 485 billionaires rank ahead. In the past 5 years alone, India has added a staggering 58% more billionaires. But here is the part that is making global financial markets sit up and take notice. The report forecasts that by 2031, India will have 313 billionaires. That is a 51% jump in just 5 years. Compare this with China, projected to grow only 20%. Compare this with the United States, projected to grow only 12%. India is minting new billionaires at a pace that no other major economy in the world can match.
Now let us go even deeper. Beyond billionaires, there is a larger category called ultra-high net worth individuals, or UHNWIs. These are people who hold a net worth of $30 million or more. Globally, this group has now crossed 713,000 individuals. India today accounts for 2.8% of this global group, up from just over 2% 5 years ago. India ranks 6th in the world for UHNWIs with 19,877 ultra-wealthy individuals. And by 2031, this number is expected to rise to 25,217. Think about what that means. Every single day, on average, the world is creating 89 new ultra-wealthy individuals, and India is capturing a bigger and bigger share of that creation.
But now let us ask the most important question. Why is this happening in India? Why now? And why at this speed? The answer lies in three converging forces. The first force is technology. India has become the global back office for artificial intelligence, software services, fintech, and digital infrastructure. The founders and early employees of these companies are turning into dollar millionaires and dollar billionaires faster than any generation before them. The second force is industrials. Manufacturing, renewable energy, electric vehicles, semiconductors, specialty chemicals. The government's production-linked incentive schemes have pumped billions of dollars into these sectors, and the promoters of these companies are capturing massive value. The third force is capital markets. India's stock market has delivered some of the best returns in the world over the past 5 years. Promoter holdings, IPO exits, and private equity deals have turned paper wealth into real billionaire fortunes. Now here is the twist that nobody is talking about loudly enough. Knight Frank's report reveals that Mumbai alone accounts for 35.4% of India's ultra-wealthy population. More than 1 out of every 3 rich Indians lives in one city. This is wealth concentration at a scale that even global financial capitals like New York and London find difficult to match. Delhi and Bengaluru follow, but Mumbai is in a league of its own. What this means for real estate, for luxury retail, for private banking, and for global luxury brands is enormous. Bentley, Rolls-Royce, Louis Vuitton, Hermes, Sotheby's, Christie's, every major luxury name is now aggressively expanding India operations because they have understood what the report is now making official. The Indian luxury consumer is the fastest growing luxury consumer on the planet.
Let me also share a very important data point from the report. Globally, the average ultra-wealthy individual owns 3.7 homes. About 21% of their total wealth is parked in commercial real estate. And in India, according to Knight Frank's India chairman Shishir Baijal, this year alone the Indian commercial real estate market is expected to absorb nearly 100 million square feet of space. 100 million square feet? That is almost the size of Manhattan's entire office space getting built and occupied in a single year. Family offices and UHNWIs are now directly investing in commercial real estate, in real estate investment trusts, in data centers, in logistics parks, and in warehousing. This is not just a residential story. This is an institutional wealth story.
Now let us zoom out and look at this from a truly global angle. Why does the rest of the world care about India's billionaire boom? The answer is simple. Global capital is running out of easy growth stories. The United States is mature, China is in a structural slowdown. Europe is struggling with energy costs, aging populations, and political fragmentation. Japan is still recovering from decades of stagnation. In this landscape, India offers something rare. A young population, a growing middle class, a stable democracy, a functioning legal system, a booming stock market, and now a proven track record of creating billionaires at global leading speed. This is why every major sovereign wealth fund, every major private equity firm, and every major family office in the world is now rethinking its India allocation. The Abu Dhabi Investment Authority, Norway's Government Pension Fund, Singapore's GIC, Canada's CPPIB, all of them are increasing exposure to India.
Let us also talk about an uncomfortable truth that comes with this wealth story. India still has hundreds of millions of citizens earning less than $5 a day. The gap between the top and the bottom is widening faster than in any other major economy. Knight Frank itself notes that this acceleration in wealth creation places a spotlight on wealth distribution and regulatory frameworks. In plain language, that means governments around the world, including India's own, are watching capital flows very carefully. There are already murmurs in policy circles about potential wealth taxes, inheritance taxes, and tighter regulations on capital flight. The rich getting richer at this pace inevitably triggers political pressure. And smart investors are already preparing for that pressure. They are diversifying across jurisdictions, setting up structures in Dubai, Singapore, London, and Zurich, and using global family office networks to manage these new fortunes. And this brings us to the next big question. Who are these 106 new billionaires that India is expected to add by 2031? Based on current trajectories, they are most likely going to come from four specific pockets. First, technology founders, especially in artificial intelligence, enterprise software, and consumer internet. Second, renewable energy and battery manufacturing entrepreneurs, where India is racing to catch up with China. Third, financial services and fintech, especially in wealth management, insurance, and digital lending. Fourth, healthcare and pharmaceuticals, where Indian companies are expanding globally across generics, biologics, and medical devices. If you're an investor, these are the four sectors where the next wave of Indian wealth creation is going to happen. And if you're an entrepreneur, these are the four sectors where the biggest personal wealth is going to be built in the coming decade.
Now let us come to the bottom line. What does all of this mean for you, wherever you are in the world? If you are a global investor, it means you can no longer treat India as an optional allocation. It has to become a core allocation. If you are an Indian entrepreneur, it means the environment has never been more favorable to build scale, attract capital, and create real wealth. If you are a policymaker, it means the question is no longer whether India will be a global economic superpower, but how India will manage the tensions that come with rapid wealth creation. And if you are a consumer or a professional, it means you are living through one of the most dramatic wealth shifts in modern economic history. The center of gravity of global capitalism is slowly, quietly, but very firmly moving towards Asia. And within Asia, India is now the clear breakout story. A final thought before we close. The Knight Frank report uses one phrase that deserves attention. The report calls this moment one of the most significant shifts in global wealth distribution in modern history. That is not marketing language. That is a formal research finding from one of the world's most respected wealth research firms. The US will remain the dominant engine of global wealth for years to come. But the rising strength of India, alongside a cluster of fast maturing economies, is now reshaping the global landscape. What you are watching unfold is not a single-year story. It is the beginning of a generational transfer of economic power. And the investors, founders, and governments who understand this today will be the ones who benefit the most over the next decade.
That is all for this edition. If this analysis added value to your understanding of the global economy, please